You are listening to the Who HQ podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Who HQ, the ultimate podcast for any fellow Whovian. I am your host, Josh Drew, and welcome to the Joy to the World review. Firstly, I want to apologise for not doing this sooner. There's been a lot of setbacks for this episode, a lot of things happening in my personal life, which is why this episode has been taking so long to actually release. And so yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. I apologise for that. Unfortunately, it's taken so long to get this episode out, but we're back. And yeah, so today is the Joy to the World review. Finally, the Joy to the World review. Excuse me. I'm going to be discussing different things about the episode, such as what I liked, what I didn't like, some theories, and yeah. So getting straight off into it, I'm gonna talk about what I liked about the episode. So, what I liked about Joy to the World was the concept was so cool. Like, I love the concept of the episode. The episode was so well written. Stephen Moffat did a great job with writing this episode. His writing is amazing anyway. Like, his era of Doctor Who, when he was writing Doctor Who, was absolutely amazing in my opinion. From like the fairy tale aspect, I love that. I love his kind of his writing is so different yet so the same when it needs to be. Like this episode fit in with the last series, definitely. I love that. I loved the ensemble was great. The acting was good. From the ensemble, I mean, like the ensemble was good. Good cast. Good place. Like the setting. The whole Time Hotel concept is so cool. Which is what I like. The Time Hotel as a concept itself is actually probably one of the best things about the episode. The whole kind of journey that the Doctor goes on in the episode. And yeah, like there's a lot to be kind of desired here. There's a lot of ups and downs in this episode. Yeah, I did really enjoy the Time Hotel concept. I enjoyed watching the Doctor go from up and down. Because there was a lot of that in this episode. I think there was a lot of up and down moments for the Doctor. Yeah, Joy was great. Joy was exceptional. Joy was great. Nicola Colin. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. But her her character Joy was great. I feel like if anything, she should have been used more in the episode. There wasn't really much of her from like kind of the middle of the episode to right towards the end. I think if they'd used her more, it would have been better. I did quite enjoy the character of Joy. I liked her as the kind of companion in the episode. But there's one character who I did appreciate more and like more, who I'll get onto in just a little while. But yeah, I like Joy. Joy was a good companion. But she could have been used a bit more. So yeah. Anyway, what I didn't like about the episode, there's not a lot I didn't really like about it, because like it's a Christmas special and it's quite a joyous, happy episode. There's a lot, you know. No, sorry, no. There's not a lot I didn't really like. It's hard to say what I didn't like, because there's so much I liked from it. Like the fact it seemed so different from all the other Christmas specials. It felt different. The writing was different. Yeah. I can't really think off the top of my head what I didn't like. I'm sure I'll think about it later on, but there's not really there's not much I didn't like about it that I can think of. So I'm gonna move on to and say actually that I think that this episode is probably the best Ncuti performance that we've had so far, and I know I'm gonna get some hate for that, but I think it was the best we've seen his Doctor so far. I think his kind of darker approach, when he kind of had like a little bit of a meltdown towards Joy, was quite good. I loved that kind of seeing that side to his Doctor that was quite dark actually, and quite like, okay, wow, he means business because of the kind of struggle. I loved seeing that. I was like, wow, kind of blown away a bit by that. I remember that, watching it for the first time and thinking, oh, okay, wow, okay, so he's actually pretty pissed. So yeah, it was interesting to see him be so kind of not pissed off, but like had this kind of depth of anger towards him a little bit in this episode. Yeah, it was very, very interesting, and very different. I like the different approach. I like the kind of darker aspect of his Doctor, especially in this episode, is what I think it kind of needed, that kind of darkish approach towards his Doctor, because obviously you've seen him be quite, I don't know, like it was quite nice to see him kind of be a bit more doctorish than before. I think he was written really well in this episode, and I think, yeah, again, he gives his best performance in this episode so far. So yeah, so we need to talk about the ending of the episode, because there's quite a bit of controversy surrounding this Bethlehem thing. So from my understanding, people got a bit kind of freaked out when the ending of the episode, you see the star, and the whole reason the episode is called Joy to the World is because of obviously the star, but you right at the end see the word Bethlehem, and obviously marks the birth of Christ in the episode. So I think it's controversial because obviously I think people know that it is Bethlehem. 100%. They know it is Bethlehem. They don't need to know it is Bethlehem. But I think that the reason they did the Bethlehem thing is because there's kids watching who don't know the story. There it is. That you got the Bethlehem title to show to the children that they're watching Bethlehem. I think that's why they did it. I don't think they did it to piss off any older generation people. I think they did it to help kids understand that they're looking at Bethlehem. Okay, I don't really see the reason for all this hate towards Joy to the World because of Bethlehem or whatever. I just see it as children are gonna be like, oh, I wonder where the doctor is now, so they're gonna put Bethlehem on the screen. I really don't think it's a big deal. I think the people who are saying it's a big deal shouldn't think it's a big deal, because it really isn't. If anything, it helps people to know what's going on, and I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, genuinely don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest. And yeah, so coming towards the end of my review now, I'm going to give you my rating for this episode out of 10. Now, considering there's not a lot I didn't like, there's not a lot I didn't like, sorry. I'm gonna rate this quite highly. Obviously, in my opinion, it's the best shooty performance. And I really enjoyed it as a Christmas special. It was different. It was good. So I'm gonna rate it a 7.5 out of 10. In my opinion, it was a 7.5 out of 10. I enjoyed the majority of the episode, and I loved just most of everything in it, because it was such a good concept, such a good Moffat-y written story. So I liked it. I loved it. I thought it was great. And now I'm going to get on to my final point. Now, let's talk about Mrs. Flood. Okay. Because, in Season 2, or Series 15, as I'm calling it, we're going to get to know Mrs. Flood is. So, who do I think Mrs. Flood is? Now, I'm going to put money on this, okay? I'm putting money on Mrs. Flood is what's her name? She's in this episode. I'm putting money that Mrs. Flood is actually Anita. Now, get this. Here's what I think. Right, so obviously you got Anita, who worked in the Time Hotel, so she can technically time travel, right? she'd obviously get really old and stuff, but the fact is that surely the Doctor would have explained to her what a TARDIS was, so that when she says never seen a TARDIS before in the first episode that she's in, that would have been like, whoa, hang on, nah, something's not right here. I reckon Anita is Mrs. Flood. I bet you. I mean, sorry, no. I bet you. I bet people. I bet people. I'm putting money on the fact that Anita is going to be Mrs. Flood, and it's not going to be this like clone of some other character. It's not going to be this this mystery that everyone is thinking. No, it's going to be Anita. I guarantee that it's Anita. I hope I'm right, personally. But yeah, I'm putting money right now on the fact that Mrs. Flood is going to be Anita. And that's what I think. Because I think it'll be so interesting as well to see. You know what's funny, right? People say Mrs. Flood is going to be Clara or whatever. Now, if they had done this, or made her any other character from who, do you not think it would have been much of a bigger deal in the series? Like, do you not think it would have been so much more like tossed around? Because I think it would have been a massive deal if they'd have brought back someone from the past. Now, this is why I think it's Anita, because it can be like not a smaller character, but it can be a brand new character who they bring in, who everyone likes from Joy to the World, and they bring her in, and it's Mrs. Flood. Then she's got this little storyline where she worked at the Time Hotel, and there's all this like surrounding stuff surrounding the storyline. I think that is what they've done. I think it's interesting the way they've done it, and yeah, that's what I think. I think they're gonna. I think Mrs. Flood is Anita, so that is what I'm betting money on, and yeah, so that is my final thing to say in my Joy to the World review. That's all we've got time for here today. But before we go, again, I'm going to ask the question of the day, which is, what did you think of Joy to the World? Did you enjoy it? Please let me know if you enjoyed it. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? All this stuff. Let me know. Anyway, thank you so much for listening again to Who HQ, and to all the listeners out there in the known universe. Tune in next time for more Whovian fun and games. Don't forget to like and exterminate that subscribe button, and share this podcast with your fellow Whovians. Follow us on Instagram at the Who HQ for updates and bonus content. And as always, stay fantastic, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. You have been listening to the Who HQ podcast.